Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the Radical SR. Good evening and welcome to the Radical SR8 Championship. Round 6 takes us to Thruxton, and we are in for brilliant evenings of action. We've got 3 races lined up to take you through this evening, and I am Tommy Kent in the commentary position. Alongside me is Jim Cunningham, who will be with me to analyse the action as the 1.5 hours of racing commences. We're in the middle of qualifying, and whilst we're waiting for the final minutes to arrive, let's have a look at the championship standings, beginning with the pros, as John Hutchison has a slight lead over James Barry in the race for the title there. 5 points the gap it is. Luke Maxwell in 3rd place on 225. He has some catching up to do. Josh Reed in 4th on 176. It's Mike Bousson, Ethan Bremer, Paul Crubb, Jamie Bird, Andrew Horswood and Paul LeMay have all picked up points so far this season. In the AMS, it's just as tight, or if not tighter, between the top 2. Jan Pullman 3 points clear over 2nd place Stefan Millis, with David Walters in 3rd place on 80 points, and it's Damien Gee, Ben Underdown, Menna de Graaf, Nick Marshall, Josiah Douglas, Michael LeMay, Peter Solders and Anthony Hilton have all scored so far. 4 minutes to go in qualifying. Luke Maxwell is fastest over the debutant Declan Marsden. Well, I'll say debutant, it's his first appearance this season. He's in 2nd place ahead of Josh Reed and John Hutchison, who are looking to find some more time. Jim, welcome in. How are you? How has your weekend been?
It's been good. Doing good. Good to be here with you. Our regular Monday evening SR8s. I love this place and all these cars, and I'm falling in love with this track. This is so cool. I really want to drive a Radical around here myself. Yeah, weekend was good. Everything's good. I'm really excited. I was looking at those points standings, and man, I tell you what, the pros have gotten pretty tight up there at the top. You know, with Luke Maxwell having a couple of weeks of not his best performance. Although I did another series with him the other day, and he got a win in a second or something like that. And he actually said that he thinks that I'm his good luck charm, and I didn't want to break that and tell him that I've been doing this series all year, so maybe not so much over here. But yeah, no, I think the points championship's looking fun. This is it's getting pretty exciting.
And to my understanding, James Barry is not here this evening. I don't know if he mentioned that last week.
It seems like he did, doesn't it?
Saying
like
that he might have been away,
but yeah.
That does. Yeah, well, he's not in the session at the moment, is James Barry, so that will give an opportunity for John Hutchison to extend the lead and for Luke Maxwell to close in a little bit. Bearing in mind, 8 out of the 10 best rounds apply towards the Drivers' Championship, so that could be one of the drop scores for James Barry for when we get to the business end of the season. Luke Maxwell is fastest so far. He won 3rd place in the championship. He's set a 1 minute 5.8 over Declan Marsden, who could well be the man to spoil the party in the title battle. He's set a 1 minute 5.9. John Hutchison has just gone over the line, was 4th, now 2nd on a 1 minute 5.9. Very, very tight actually between Hutchison, Marsden and Josh Reed, who is being demoted to 4th place. David Walters the fastest so far of the AMS.
Yeah, he's got. You didn't like last week. Wasn't last week his first or second week? I mean, he hasn't been here all season. I don't believe. And I was looking at the points, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he's been here all season. And I was looking at the points, and I think he's jumped up to like.
He hasn't. No, I think he's been around for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's like in 2nd in the points or 3rd. No, it's 3rd in the points right now. I think on 80 points. That's impressive. He's having some really good finishes. Just to pop in and jump up into points like that, pretty impressive.
Very impressive indeed from David Walters, proving that he is the man to beat so far this evening. The next driver behind him in the AMS is Ben Underdown, who has set a time that's around about half a tenth slower than what he's produced. As we come to the closing seconds, we're about 40 seconds to go in this qualifying session. Now, there is a championship point on offer, and it looks like Luke Maxwell is looking good to be getting that. We're looking at what looks like Ben Underdown coming out of the club section. He's going to be making his way over the line. What is this lap going to be for him? Is that enough to move him ahead of David Walters? It is, you know, up to 6th position overall. And the fastest of the AMs as we head towards the final seconds. Is anyone on an improvement? Well, I can say that Mike Hudson, Marsden and Reed are not. I think Maxwell's done enough.
Yeah, I believe he has. That was quite an impressive lap there, I have to say. He's looking fast here tonight, so with Barry gone, it may be a chance for him to recover a little bit of his points this year as well.
Let's run down on the grid then as Luke Maxwell takes a championship point for pole position for race number 1. John Hudson alongside it's Declan Marsden competing for the first time this season alongside Josh Reed. It's Mike Bousson and Ben Underdown, the fastest of the AMs in 6th position. David Walters and Ethan Bremer on row 4 with Jamie Bird and Gert-Jan Polman rounding out the top 10. Stefan Millis and Michael LeMay are on row 6 ahead of Menard de Graaf and Damien Guy. Nick Marshall makes up the grid in 15th position. 20 points are on offer for a race win. Luke Maxwell could do with that after a troublesome last few rounds. Can he regain the form of what he had at Mount Panorama and in Watkins Glen? He hasn't won since Watkins Glen, has Luke, so he has some time to catch up. He's won 3 races this season. James Barry has won 4, and John Hutchinson, the championship leader, has won 7. That's going to take some beating, really, for Luke Maxwell. But as some of you know that's tuned in, John Hutchinson knows these cars from the back of his own hand.
Indeed, he does. But the reality of it is, all of these fast guys here, they race these cars a lot. We talk about that a lot. You know, they race in different leagues and officials and all that kind of stuff. And you know, all these guys that are, you know, they know these cars pretty well. I mean, McCutcheon's strong, just like Barry, Luke.
All the cars. So I'm going to interrupt you. Jim, as the lights are coming on now. 3, 4, and 5. Lights are on. Lights off. It's go in Thruxton, and it looks like Josh Reed has got a superstar. He's ahead of Declan Marsden into 3rd place. But it's Luke Maxwell who maintains the lead ahead of John Hudson as they come towards the first braking zone of Campbell before they go through Cobb and Seagrave. And it's a fine start so far from Luke Maxwell, 3rd in the championship, needing to close down that 25-point gap as what it was before qualifying got underway.
David Walters is around in the back.
Takes the early lead ahead of Hudson. It's Reed and Marsden. Yep, he's gone round as Walters, so we'll get a replay of that very, very shortly. But Hudson all over the back of Maxwell, who gets out of shape as they come towards the right-hander of Village and Church. But it's really, really optimal so far for Matt Hudson. He's got through on Maxwell before they go through Church, and it's Brooklyn's next. It's Matt Hudson who takes the lead. Maxwell not having a good start to this one. He got well out of shape, and that could open the door for Declan Marsden to come through. And it's Maxwell around the outside of Matt Hudson before they get to Club. But it's Matt Hudson who'll have the inside line. He maintains the position. Maxwell has to yield.
Yeah, and he got on the brakes a little hard to get out of it there, and he's got Marsden all over his tail now. Let's go back real quick, and so we've had a couple of incidents while this is settled out again. This was Walters right after. Sorry, I have it set up for the thing at the end. So this is Walters going around here.
So there's Walters there in that dark blue livery there on the inside. Yeah, he got well out of shape, so no one else is involved in that.
No.
And I think Michael LeMay has been involved in an incident of his own.
With Geert Van Polman, I believe.
We're going to have a look. So this is further on around the circuit here. This is over at Club. And there is Gert-Jan Polman getting wide onto the curve there. Oh, he doesn't notice. That's poor. That's poor from Gert-Jan Polman. Really poor awareness. And he took out 2 other cars as well.
Oh, my goodness.
I think David Walters got involved in that.
He may have. Let's see. One more time here. So, yeah, it's like Van Polman just wasn't paying attention as Michael come up. It was almost like he was trying to pit or something. Oh, yeah, Walters crushed it.
Yeah, and he got clipped. Man.
Yeah, those cars are all tore up.
I think Nick Marshall got involved as well.
It does look like he was.
Matt Hudson in the lead then over Maxwell, and it's Marsden in 3rd position. It's Bousson and Bremer. Ben Underdown is the highest so far of the AMs in 6th place, so he's running rather well, hoping to at least close down the gap in the race in the AMs. It looks like a two-horse race between the likes of Mellis and Gert-Jan Polman, who's been in the wars in this race already. So there's a chance for Mellis to take the lead in the AMs heading into race 2. Ben Unsdown, who has not competed in every single round this season, but has a chance to maybe keep himself somewhat in the fight going into the last couple of rounds of the season. He's on the tail and just keeping up with the top 5 just in case something happens, and the more points he can get, the better. 20 points for a race win, 15 for second, it's 14 for third, it's every position downwards a point difference. But so far so good for John Hodgson, making it look so easy. But Luke Maxwell needs to win this race to at least reduce the arrears in the title battle.
Yeah, Luke hasn't seemed to recover from that, early move that McCutcheon put on him. He's just kind of settled in there, and I mean he's hanging right with him, so he just may be waiting for his opportunity. Of course, if you're waiting for McCutcheon to make a mistake, you might be waiting a long time.
So they come out towards what looks like Church that they're heading through. It's difficult to tell by the camera angle whereabouts they are around the circuit because it's such a very fast section of the course. But they are coming towards what I believe is Club Corner now. There goes Maxwell as we ride on board with him, heading towards Club. Marston was later on the brakes, and that is the reason why he stays there. But there goes Marston on the inside. Pushes Maxwell out onto the grass. Do they get through safely? Well, I can tell you that Maxwell has lost out to Bousson as a consequence. So he's down from 2nd to 4th, and you can see the car is struggling. You can see how the steering wheels, I think he's got damage. He's got damage as Maxwell.
Let's go back in his cockpit again.
I looked carefully on the steering wheel.
Yeah,
it did look a little bit askew.
It does seem to be a little off, yeah.
Well, he's keeping himself in there for now, but he's down to 7th place. He's behind Ben Underdown as they go through Goodwood. And it won't be too long before they get to Church Corner.
Let's go back up here to the front.
It's a long...
Bousson is all over Marston.
There's Marston. Well, Bousson is up for it here as they head towards Club Corner. Around the outside goes Bousson on Marston, who's proven his worth in this series in the SR8. But Bousson just about settling behind for now. Maxwell is ahead of Underdown, who's also lost out to Josh Reed. So Maxwell back into 6th position. He's lost so much time. We may be able to get a replay of what happened with Luke Maxwell when Declan Marston got alongside him over at Club.
Yeah, give me 1 second. It doesn't. Here we go. It doesn't show up as a crash.
Well, this is over at Club Corner, so you could just see that Hudson was there. He pulled clear. Marston got alongside. He actually cuts the corner. He actually cuts the corner, does Marston, and that's technically an unsafe rejoin when you think of it. But it is it's fine margins, and you just see that Maxwell had to lift off the throttle slightly, and he nearly got taken out by someone else.
Yeah, that was kind of, well, for lack of a better term, a little strange. The way that whole deal went down there. That's very unfortunate for Maxwell because he was. He was just kind of riding along there, and that was.
There goes Bird. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got damage for sure.
Yeah, he's not going at the pace he would normally be doing. Is Maxwell? I think he's just going to be cruising to the end from here. I think. Yeah. Luckily for him, it's a 15-minute race.
Yeah, I think it's probably good enough that he can keep it on the track. And not have to pit or anything, but he's not going to be fast. It doesn't look like it. Although, that being said, he's fighting for every position he can, but I just don't think it's going to be quite enough. Oops.
He's bottom of all the pros now is Luke Maxwell.
Yeah, he sure is.
So he's just about staying in the tail of Bird just so that he can pull away from Ben Unsdown, who's not far behind. There goes Maxwell. Can he make the move stick on Bird? No, he has to back out of it, and Bird is able to maintain his position. But Maxwell got a better exit, and he spins. He spins. Can he keep out the wall just about? He goes from bad to worse for Luke Maxwell.
Let's go back and see that again from the aerial view here. Yeah, he dove it in there. It looked like Bird had a little trouble, and he shot up in there, but then he had to turn it down, and when he did, he turned it down to get off of him, and he lost the rear end a little bit. So Mellis got by him, but it doesn't look like anybody else got by him. So Underdown and Mellis, they got by him. Well, it's going from bad to worse for Luke, isn't it?
It is. Underdown's got ahead of Bird. I don't know what happened to Bird. Like whether he's had an error somewhere as the Englishman.
Well, he had just had an incident. He was having an incident, which is the reason that Maxwell had to turn off of him like that. And I think that may have been enough to lose his momentum and cause Underdown to get by him. But he's gotten back by him now.
Oh, there's an incident. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt. There's an incident involving Eva Bremer at Club Corner. Eva Bremer spun at Club Corner, Jim. I don't know what happened, but he was fighting with Josh Reed over 4th place, and he's gone round, has Bremer. Oh, yeah, he just turned in on Reed at the first part of Club.
Come back to that one more time.
That's Maxwell.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's Maxwell. This is the spin he had just now.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry about that. He just kind of, he kind of drifted right across the nose there and spun himself out, really.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that was...
That's Bremer down a few positions.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. So now just real quick, let's see.
Bird go through there.
Luke is there. Where's Bremer? There. Okay, I was just curious to see how close those two were together. Bird, he got back ahead of Underdown. And Josh Reed's ahead of them, but he's pretty significantly 3 or 4 seconds up there. Let's go back up here to the front. This is it's getting a little warm up here. A little spicy. Look at Busan. He's turning.
It is. We've got less than 5 minutes to. Less than 5 minutes to go in this first race here at Thruxton. And John Hudson seems to be in command of this one, but this is the battle we're focusing on between Marsden and Busan. As they head towards the right-hander of Goodwood. And Marsden doing very well to keep Busan back, but how long can he do it?
I don't know a lot about Marsden, but I know when he popped into practice today, he was really fast. He sat on top of the timing chart for well over half of the practice session. Clearly he's got some pace.
They head towards Club Corner again. Bird has got back through on Underdown for 5th position. Underdown down to 6th as they head towards the right-hander again, the fast right-hander of the sign of Allard. I can tell you that the likes of Pullman and LeMay did rejoin the race, but they are a long way off the rest. I think they are a lap down, those two, compared to the others.
Yeah, I believe they may be. It doesn't show them that they're a lap down, but they're right. Yeah, they're pretty close. Van Pol.
The right at the back.
Yeah, right at 45 seconds back, so pretty close.
Plough on. I think we've probably got 3 more laps after this one for the drivers to continue to dice out for points. There is Evan Bremer, who's behind Stefan Mellis in the battle for 7th place as they come out of Church Corner. You can just see Bremer is alongside enough. He's probably too ambitious there. Does Mellis know he's alongside? He does. And Bremer aims to outbrake him here into Club. Mellis lets him go. It's a change of places between those two in different classes, and a mistake from Underdown allows Bremer to go through.
Yeah, well, now the Underdown and Stefan Mellis is an important battle here. Looks like we had, I'm not going to go back and look at that. Michael LeMay looks like got into some more trouble, but he's already, about a lap down back there. No need to I need to focus on that. There goes Ewan Bremer. Hang on to it. Oh.
Yeah.
He's
It's been
all
a messy
over the
race so
place.
far for Evan Bremer, and you can just see he's all over the place. Yeah, he's really struggling, is Bremer. I don't know whether he's taken too much life out of the tyres at this stage, but he's really lost out big time there.
Yeah, that's
As Bremer, he's behind Luke Maxwell in the fight for 8th.
I'm sure Luke's like, stay back there, please.
So Bird leading Underdown, Mellis, Maxwell, and Bremer.
Yeah, we'll go back up here to the front.
So a little.
We're kind of spread apart up here a little bit.
Well, they are going through. This is the penultimate lap of the race. Mahutchison's been wheeled in by Declan Marston. I don't know if he's backed off a little bit, has Mahutchison, just to look after the car. But you can see there's Marston, those boosts on there is Reed. Swap in positions between Maxwell and Bremer, so they're dicing it out over 8th and 9th.
Those
It looks like the top 4 are set in stone for the finish, aren't they?
It does look that way, yeah. I'm looking at their best lap times. Obviously, what's funny is the fastest lap time of the race is by Josh Reed. He had a 105.92, but your top 3, they're all within 4/100ths of a second apart for their best lap time of the race.
Hudson is coming around to start his final lap then. He'll get the white flag from the marshal on the pit straight. There goes the white flag. And so they begin their last lap. Hudson on course for his 8th win of the season. Declan Marston's going to open his points account for the campaign with a super second place finish and 15 championship points. We forgot to mention top 5 in race 1. Reverse the grid for race 2. So at the moment it is Jamie Bird who will start at the head of the field, but can Ben Underdown take that away from him? Bird will want to keep these back here. He's got a little bit of a buffer between the likes of Mellis, Maxwell and Bremer, who are in a fight of their own now. Ben Underdown didn't get a very good exit coming out of the right-hander of Seagrave, but there is John Mahutchison, who's close to finishing this one. What a drive it's been from the championship leader, and with Luke Maxwell down the order and James Barry not here this evening, this is going to be another enormous step towards the title. Marston has closed in, but he's going to run out of time. John Mahutchison comes through club for the last time. The Scotsman, the championship leader, clips the curb, but it's all he needs to do to hold off Declan Marston. He wins the first race this evening, does John Mahutchison. Declan Marston, first appearance this season, second, head of Mike boosts on. Josh Reed is 4th. Jamie Bird holds off Ben Underdown to 5th and on reverse grid pole. Underdown 6th, and then it's Maxwell, Bremer and Mellis who is in 9th. Ben Underdown takes victory in the AMS. Mendes de Graaf is 10th. We've got the likes of Damien Guy, David Walters, Nick Marshall and Gert-Jan Polman taking the flag. Polman's crossover line 1 lap down.
Well, it was an action-packed race. There was a little more action in there than I really expected.
Well, John Mahutchison takes the victory ahead of Declan Marston in 2nd place. Mike Boost on 3rd. There's Josh Reed, Jamie Bird, Ben Underdown, who wins out in the AMS in 6th position overall. Luke Maxwell 7th. Eva Bremer 8th. Stefan Millis 9th. And it's Mendes de Graaf in 10th position. Damien Guy is 11th, followed by David Walters, with Nick Marshall and Gert-Jan Polman, the rest of those to finish. Michael LeMay did not finish the race. As far as the grid is concerned, Jamie Bird is on reverse grid pole. It's Josh Reed in 2nd. It's Mike Boost and Declan Marston on row 2. John Hutchison and Ben Underdown on row 3. Luke Maxwell and Evan Bremer on row 4. Stefan Millis and Mendes de Graaf running out the top 10. Damien Guy and David Walters are 11th and 12th, with Nick Marshall, Gert-Jan Polman and Michael LeMay rounding out the grid. The drivers are getting onto the grid as quickly as they had been finishing. So we don't have a lot of time to digest everything from what we saw in race number 1. But it's a good victory all round for John Mahutchison, who will start in 5th position. But Jamie Bird has an opportunity to at least, I would say, go for a podium finish. What can Josh Reed do as well as we wait for Luke Maxwell, who's the only driver to get onto the grid? And then we await for the red lights to appear. Luke Maxwell, who's lost further ground in the championship after being on pole earlier.
He
Can he
just
make up
missed
for it
the
here?
start.
5 lights are coming on now.
Oh, no, he can't.
We wait for
Yeah.
the lights to go. He did, and he'll start the race from the pit lane. If anything, lights on, lights off, it's go. It's Jamie Bird who leads the way. Mike Bousson getting the jump on Jamie Bird, and Johnson spins. Yeah, he's going to collect another driver. Luckily, I think he just avoided him, but that's a big, big twist in the title battle. Jamie Bird leads. It's Mike Bousson, Josh Reed, Declan Marston. Ben Underdown is still the head of the AMS in 5th place. It's Ethan Bremer in 6th, with Damien Gee, Nick Marshall, Gert-Jan Polman, and Michael LeMay. But a terrible, terrible start for John Hutchinson, who has it all to do from here.
Yeah, let's go see. What happened to McCutcheon there. So he got off pretty good. He actually had a nice run, and he
just lost it.
Yeah, he was coming up on the back of. Well, I'm not sure who that was. Anyway, he turned. He had to get on the brakes and turn the wheel to keep from hitting him, and it caused him to spin. Wow, that's unfortunate, but interesting. Now, Luke and McCutcheon, the two fastest drivers in the field, arguably, are now at the back of the pack, theoretically going to be racing each other.
And we could well be on course for a new winner this season, because the only drivers to have won are John Hutchinson, Luke Maxwell, James Barry, and Andrew Horswood.
Yeah,
who's another one of those that's not here this evening. Can Jamie Bird pick up his first win of the season? Likewise for Mike. Yep. Well, the highest driver in the field who has won a race this season is John Hutchinson in 14th.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it does look promising for a new winner here. Any one of these guys in the top 5 would be, would be a really cool win. They're all, well, with the exception of Marston, they're all regulars and put in a lot of time doing this. It would be nice for any one of those guys to pick up a victory.
So Jamie Bird holding up Mike Bousson as they go toe-to-toe heading into club. Bousson on the inside of Bird. Does he make the move stick, or does he have to lift off to make sure they got through club? Well, he had to lift off. He might just get the drive on the exit of club to stay in touch or get alongside Bird, but Bird is able to hold him off for the time being. Marston's in front of Underdown in 4th place as well in the AMS. He's ahead of Bremer.
Yeah.
He is up there. Yeah, very good run for Ben Underdown as we see Bousson right on the board from the nose cam as he makes his way through. Looks like Josh Reed has been in the wars, the latest to have fallen back, unfortunately. He was running at the top end of the field, was Reed, but all that hard work has gone to waste.
Let's see, David Walters. I don't know if these two had something together here. Maybe so. There's Reed right back there. Oh, yep. There they go. Oh!
Reed runs.
He's upside down.
Reed runs into him.
Yeah, I mean, but he did spin right in front of him. That's a tough, it's kind of hard. Let's go back one more real quick and look at it again.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call, to be fair, isn't it?
Well, it's hard to react. I mean, he's right there. He just hits this curb right here, and then, I mean, he did kind of run into him. You're right. Obviously he slowed coming off the corner a little bit, but yeah, he kind of did run into him and cause his own wreck. Reed did. Well, that's unfortunate for both of those guys. Back up here at the front, we got Bousson still all over Jamie Bird. Marsden in there. Underdown. That's 2 runs in a row where he's hanging right on the pack of the pro guys, man.
He's doing a super job so far. He's Underdown keeping up with these, and he's proven to be somewhat of a dark horse to sort of be that underdog. And he's now within the fray of a podium finish, despite the fact that he is an AM. But now Bousson fancies a go at it on Bird. But when does he decide to go for it? Because he's got Marsden, Underdown, and Bremer waiting in the wings, all of which are desperate for points this season. So far, it's Ben Underdown who is, well, he's the class of the AMS with Mellis not having the best of evenings so far, and neither is Gert-Jan Polman, who has had a better race of it so far in race 2 compared to what we saw in race 1. Matt Hudson has got through on Mellis for 9th position.
Yeah, he's creeping on up the field, isn't he? I don't know what's going on with Luke Maxwell. He's something must have. I don't know. He's just kind of staying stuck back there.
Well, Bremer's got through on Underdown for 4th place. He's got ahead through Campbell as they make their way out of Seagrave now. A lot of them, the top 5. that just keep an eye out on where Hudson is, because he's on the tail of Michael LeMay as they all filter through. There's Mellis who's trying to fight back with Hudson, but Hudson, yeah, he's got through. So Hudson through ahead of Mellis, and now he'll be closing in on LeMay very, very shortly. But he's got a long way to catch. He's got like another 4 seconds to make up on the AMs. Bremer's got through on Buson, and I wonder if Buson made an error when he tried to get past Jamie Bird, and there goes even Bremer fighting his way back. And can he get alongside Buson heading into club corner? Oh, just about got on the brakes and lined the car up for club. But Ben Underdown fancies to go it as well. He lost the position to Bremer in the last lap.
Let's go back here and look at this pass where Bremer gets by Buson. If he just pulled, he didn't really take it. He pulled up on the side of him and just kind of had the momentum going down the. Well, this whole track's practically straights, even though they're not exactly straight. They're really fast.
Yeah, they're not exactly straight like you say, but he was running in second place was Buson before Marston got by, and I think Bremer got by him briefly.
Yeah.
But as it is Bird who is leading the way at the moment on course for his first win of the season.
Our second place points leader in AMS is apparently really struggling here. Oh.
Yeah, he's picked up an issue. He's got an issue as Mellis.
Yeah, wow, okay. I thought it was a wreck, but no, it's even...
I don't know what's happened.
Even worse than that. It's some kind of technical issue, it looks like. All right, let's see.
But he's back in the race, is Mellis.
Bird is stretching it out on him a little bit there, isn't he? Well, they're all back here fighting,
he's got Marston,
amongst
he's got
themselves.
Buson, looking at where Hudson is, he's now ahead of LeMay.
He is.
So he can go after Jan Polman, who's another 4 seconds up the road. We know how quick Hudson can be. His best lap time has been a 1 minute 6.7, which he produced on the last lap. Jan Polman produced a 1 minute 7.1 on the last lap himself, and he's not exactly fighting with anyone right now, I don't believe. He's got Damien Guy in front of him by less than a second, but Hudson will put in some qualifying laps for the time being before he gets onto the rear of the likes of Polman and Guy and Underdown, which I don't think will be too difficult to get by. But when he gets onto the rear of where Bremer is, that's where the going gets tough for Hudson.
So I just noticed that Paul LeMay's in chat. Of course, we know he's out for the rest of the year. Good to see him in there. I usually look up. I hadn't looked up in a while, but so he said that Maxwell had a slowdown, which is why he was kind of hanging around in the back. As we can see now, he is moving back up. He's in 10th place, and he's moving on up the field. So as is McCutcheon. Look at their gaps to the next
coming through
guy.
the field. He's coming through the field is Maxwell. If he remained in that position, he would be on reverse grid pole for race 3. The top 10 in race 2 get reversed for the race 3 grid. So Luke Maxwell might need to think about what he decides to do, because he's probably not going to... Is he going to have enough time to catch the likes of the AMs of Underdown, Guy and Polman?
Well, he's still got over 10 minutes. I mean, at the rate that he and McCutcheon can close on some of these guys, I don't know that I would just write it off and hang out in 10th place, because that's a pretty big amount of points you're giving up there, because every spot in this league as you move up pays pretty good.
Polman on the rear of Guy as he has to go over the curves there. It's not the first time we've seen him do that. There you go, Jan Polman through that. He is on the tail of Guy as they come through Allard again. And I don't think Jan Polman picks up a slowdown afterwards.
Paul was clarifying that it was in race 1 that Maxwell had a slowdown. Well, that just goes to show you, Paul, apparently I walk around on a living slowdown. I totally missed all of that. But it's good to have you in here, by the way. Good to see you again.
Yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, Paul.
Don't
forget to subscribe as well.
He always sheds some nice light on these races for us, so as from a driver's perspective.
Don't forget to subscribe as well, folks, if in case you haven't done so. And you can keep right up to date with all the action within JP Broadcasting, including this Radical SR8 Championship. And you can see the top 5 in your picture. Bird, Martin, Buson, Bremer and Underdown as they begin the 10th lap of this race. We are just over 10 minutes into this. And what a drive it's been so far from Jamie Bird. Can he pick up his first win of the season? Highest driver in the field of won a race this season is John Hodgson, who's in 8th place. And how close is he to Guy now? Well, he can't be that far behind him. He's only like less than 2 seconds off him as they come out of where Campbell is. But I can tell you there has been a change in the order because Underdown has got ahead of Bremer for 4th position.
Oh!
Bremer letting Underdown go through. A boost on, loses it. Can he collect it? Not take out another driver. I think some drivers had to take a face, so actually he's been clipped. He's clipped another driver. Couldn't tell who it was, but Buson's lost it.
Yeah, let's see what happened there.
I'm sure he got clipped by another driver.
I
think it was Underdown that might have to have taken. I thought it was Ben Underdown that might have had to take evasive action on the grass, and he got clipped by someone else.
I am struggling to. It's not recording this stuff as an incident. No, that's not going to be it. No, here we go. Let's see right here. Let's see this. Yes, he was spinning there, and then it did.
Yeah, that was Marston taking evasive action first, and then Underdown lost the front end of his machine.
Yeah, that's tough. Golly. I don't know if Buson got some damage off that, but more than likely, that was a pretty good little lick he might have. All right, let's go back up here.
Well, Hudson further ahead is close to Damien Guy for 6th position.
Yes, right.
Which could be crucial for the championship. Yep. Yeah, Hudson needs to get past him, really. He needs to get past him as soon as he can. As they go through Church. And he's all over the rear. Well, Bremer's got through him Underdown for 3rd place. But Hudson's going to go through on the inside of Guy for when they get to Club. On the inside goes Hudson, and Guy has to yield that time around. So Hudson through into P6.
Yeah, he's, it's kind of funny. Sometimes it seems like if you watch enough of this, that people almost kind of get out of McCutchenson's way. Sometimes, they don't make it as hard on him. And I wonder if that's, maybe due to his reputation or something. I think, some drivers, I think, intimidate other people. And I wonder if that's kind of possibly, the way some drivers handle him. Just a thought.
He's in 6th place now. He's into 6th place now, is Hudson, and there is Jan Polman further up ahead.
Right there.
And by the time he's got past Polman, which is inevitable, let's be honest.
Yes.
He's got another 6 to 7 seconds up the road to Ben Underdown. And I think with all the time we've got left, I don't think he's going to have enough time to catch up to him. I don't think.
Yeah, so assuming that, Underdown doesn't clip a curb or something and, lose a few seconds real quick or something.
And there we see the drivers in 3rd and 4th, Bremer and Underdown.
What a great
He's been one of the drivers of the evening so far.
What a great run for him. Fantastic.
And that'll help his cause in the championship slightly, closing on Polman and Mellis a little bit.
Yeah, where's Polman? Well, Polman's back in 6th right now. As McCutchenson has gotten by him.
Well, as it stands, he could well go in front of Guy and Walters by the end of this evening's action. So that would put him up into 3rd place in the standings in the AMS. And don't forget, they have to drop 2 rounds to each of the drivers. Their 2 worst scores over the course of the season, which could play into Underdown's hands a little bit. But I still expect it to be either Polman or Mellis taking the honours by the end of the season. Oh, because Marston looking to go through on Bird at Club. That was very, very close. How they did not come together is beyond me.
Wow. Yeah. I thought he was going to hit him for sure.
But luckily they didn't. Hudson is through on Polman, for your information. He's up into 5th place. On course to extend his championship lead again. He would start in 6th position for race 3. The driver in 10th place on reverse grid pole potentially is Mike Bousson.
Yeah, he's struggling. His car is he's got to be a little jacked up or something because he's having several off-track moments here. I just didn't want to cut away from the stuff that we got going on here. Here's Maxwell on LeMay. Michael LeMay, of course.
Michael LeMay holding up Luke Maxwell. They are in different classes, these two. So I don't know how much LeMay will fight this one. I think given we've only got a few minutes left, I think it may as well tussle it out with Luke Maxwell for a bit.
Minnow DeGraff just went off track. Well, these guys at the back are really struggling there. I guess these are with damaged cars. Yeah, Jamie is tough. Paul LeMay in YouTube chat is said Jamie is tough. He is, but this is not.
Oh, there's clips. They've clipped each other. Sorry, Jim. They clipped on the Exeter Club corner. Did Maxwell and LeMay? Did they get through the pit straight? I thought they collided on the exit. No, I think Maxwell got through, but I thought they clipped. LeMay got a very, very poor line through Club, and it almost looked like they came together.
Oh, he did.
They touched. They did touch.
They did indeed, yeah. Good eye.
Luke Maxwell through into 8th place. Another championship point going in the way, but still behind Hutchinson in this one. Marsden, well, he's on course for pride right now. I mean, he's nowhere near in the championship picture, but he's driving like he is in the championship picture as he goes after Jamie Bird, who's aiming to be the best of the rest.
Oh,
and we're going into this round on 134 points as Marsden on the inside of Bird as they go towards Allard corner. They almost touch wheel to wheel, but Marsden is ahead before they get to Campbell. What has Bird got left in there? Is he able to outbrake him round the outside? He can't. And Declan Marsden is through into the lead in this second race at Thruxton.
Wow, what a great battle right there. Holy cow.
Super battle indeed, and leaving each other room. But there goes Marsden into the lead, and Bird, well, he'll be ruining that error. Marsden getting out of shape through Goodwood there, which is not ideal. We've seen a number of drivers suffer that throughout this evening's action. They're heading towards Church now, and it looks like Bird is going to get a good run. Good slipstream here for Bird. Marsden will have to go defensive here. He'll have to go a little bit tight, so he leaves the inside open for Bird to head back through again. They touch. Yeah, they touch there on the approach, and Bird goes through. What does Marsden do? Well, he's still there, is Marsden. Bird and Marsden come together, and look at Evan Bremer. He's into the picture here. He cannot go through the gap. He couldn't go through the gap, did Bremer. He had to lift off to avoid a collision, but he's now into the fray here to go after Declan Marsden for second place on the inside into Campbell, but it is Marsden who holds on to the second, so it's still Bird, Marsden and Bremer on the penultimate lap.
What great battle we got going on here. This is so good.
This is so good to watch. And we look at the aerial view or the helicam of Bird going through Goodwood. Here we see Marsden and Bremer in your picture. They're coming up towards a bat marker as well. I think it's Nick Marshall who's further on ahead, so that could play a bit of a key role in how this race gets decided. But look at the drive that Marsden's got on Bird. That tells you about how effective the slipstream has been here today. As they go through Club Corner again, Marsden on the inside. A Bird just about shuts him off, and Marsden didn't go for it there. But he may be able to get the drive coming out of the final turn as they begin their last lap, Jim.
This is some great action right here.
Nail-biting stuff as Marsden, he's thinking about Club Corner. He wants that slipstream effect and get alongside Bird and go for it.
Yeah,
but Bremer is also thinking.
Yeah, Bremer's hanging in there. You're right.
In the same, he may be able to just use that slipstream to even get alongside. They're coming towards a back marker as well. That could come to Bird's aid, because if he can get into the slipstream of that back marker ahead, I think it's Nick Marshall, that could save him. That could actually save him from the attack of Marsden and Bremer. as they head out of church for the last time. Is Marston close enough? Well, there is Nick Marshall, who's without his front end since he's had throughout most of this. But Bird, I think, is just about going to hold off Marston and Bremer. There goes the back marker. Jamie Bird is about to take his first win of the season. Got a poor exit. Marston stays in touch, but Bird holds on. He wins ahead of Marston and even Bremer. Ben Underdown wins again in the AMS in 4th place, with John Hodgson recovering back to 5th. And it's Gert-Jan Polman, Luke Maxwell, Damien Gee in 8th, LeMay 9th, Buson 10th, and on reverse grip, although LeMay has just got by Damien Gee by the looks of it on the last lap. So Gee down to 9th, LeMay 8th. It's Buson who will start on reverse grip pole for later on. David Walters will be 11th next, Menno de Graaf, Josh Reed, Stefan Millis, and Nick Marshall, who ended the race a lap down.
Wow, that was some fantastic action. Fantastic.
Nicely done indeed by Jamie Bird.
Wow.
As we wait for the final call to head over the line, Stefan Millis that will be, and then we can run down on the final classification of race number 2.
He is not having a points day today, and right when he had an opportunity to collect on that, he just didn't. That's so unfortunate for him. So yeah, we got our little warm up, so we got a little bit of time now. We can slow down and chat about what we've just seen.
Jamie Bird taking the win, and it's Declan Marston in 2nd place, Avon Bremer 3rd, Ben Underdown 4th, it's John Hodgson in 5th, Gert-Jan Polman 6th place, Luke Maxwell, Michael LeMay, Damien Gee, and Mike Buson running out the top 10 and starting on reverse grid pole. David Walters 11th, followed by Menno de Graaf, with Josh Reed, Stefan Millis, and Nick Marshall rounding out the finishers. They've gone into their 5-minute warm-up session. So, what do you make of the 2 races so far, Jim? Because I think it's more about the unpredictable results rather than the unpredictable racing.
No, I mean, I think the the racing is kind of like you said. You kind of expect racing like that with these guys and these cars. To me, the obvious thing so far is the points leaders in the pro category are having a horrible night. Barry's not here. McCutcheon, he recovered to a 5th. I mean, that was pretty good, but it sure started off bad for him in that race. He did get the first race, so it's not horrible, I guess. But by his standards, you kind of expect him to be first, second, right up there. And Luke as well had a bad result in the first race, recovered reasonably well in the second. I don't know. I think it's certainly given some people. Josh Reed has deserved a win this year. He's run really well, and he finally got it. And as far as the AMs go, man, Ben Underdown, holy cow, what a night he's having.
He's had a super evening, has Ben Underdown, getting some good points out of it, and which should help him move up into 3rd place in the AMS Championship. But it is still Stefan Millis and Gert-Jan Polman leading the way in that. If he keeps it up in the coming rounds before the season finishes, bearing in mind there is the drop points rule to factor in, that could come to his aid. Whilst we're waiting for the final race to come up, well, if this is before any form of action happens,
right.
So if you look at Ben Underdown, 67 points, he finished 4th in that second race, and in the first race, looking at where he finished in that, where did he finish in race 1?
Was it? Let me pull it up. I think it was 5th, but let me make sure. Let's see which one.
I think it was 5th. I think you're all right with that.
Let me hide this real quick, and we'll pull that up. See. No, that's not.
It was P6. It was P6, Jim, that
okay.
Ben Underdown finished.
Okay.
So
yeah,
6th
P6
place would get you. Just working out the points for that, because there's different point systems between races. So for race 1 with P6, that would give you 11 championship points, whereas in race 2 he would have got 13. So he's got 24 points out of it, which would move his total up to 91.
Yeah,
he'll be ahead of Damien Gee because he's had better results than what Damien Gee has, and certainly David Walters. So he could well be up to 3rd place over in the AMS, but he's still got a mountain to climb to get anywhere near Stefan Millis and Gert-Jan Polman.
He does, but if he is somehow to pull out another victory here tonight in race 3, that's going to be a nice total of points for him. Just to, certainly he's making his presence known in this championship, and we still have a few rounds to go. Speaking of that, let's take a look at the schedule. Well, we've got a minute or two here, so
we've got Solder, Road America, Spa, and Monza on the historic layout to finish off the season on the 21st of July. That should be entertaining indeed.
Definitely. All of those, though, I'm excited for every one of them. Obviously, Road America is one of the great circuits here in the United States, and all the alternate circuits, the other three that we're running, something different. It's always nice to see something and do something different. A lot of these tracks we run at a lot, especially like Spa. You see that all the time. So just a little alternate layout. It'd be fun, be cool.
We're into the final seconds of the warm-up, and we'll see Mike Bousson on reverse grid pole for race 3. As we are looking around the scenery of this Thruxton circuit, which did used to be a runway, but they've been using any championship that's competing. It's just one configuration of Thruxton, which has been around since 1968. Although the circuit itself of Thruxton has been around since it was first opened in 1950.
I mean, I have to say, this place is pretty cool. I like it. I like the fact that it's a momentum track. I think it's just it just looks like it's fun. I want to drive some sort of formula car, like I was telling you earlier, around here.
The race 3 grid then, with Mike Bousson on reverse grid pole, with Damien Gee alongside it's Michael LeMay and Luke Maxwell on the second row. Gert-Jan Polman and John Hudson, the championship leader, in 6th place. Ben Unsdown, who's been one of the stars of tonight, in P7. Evan Bremer in 8th. Declan Marston and Jamie Bird on row 5. Then it's David Walters and Mendy Graf on the 6th row. Josh Reed, Stefan Millis, and Nick Marshall are the remaining drivers to round out the grid. Just a few drivers who are waiting now to get onto the grid, waiting for Damien Gee, Ben Underdown, and Stefan Millis. Although the lights are on already. Lights out, and it's go in Thruxton for the 3rd time. And it's a good start from Mike Bousson, with Luke Maxwell straight up into 2nd place. John Hudson also up into P3. And it looks like we've had a few late starters, actually, of Ben Underdown, Damien Gee, and Stefan Millis. They look like they're going to be starting from the pit lane, and if anything. That's a terrible shame for Ben Underdown. But a brilliant start from Mike Bousson, who's away in the lead. Luke Maxwell has got John Hudson all over the back of him as they come out of Seagrave. Luke Maxwell cannot afford any more mistakes tonight. He's had too many of them already, and given how poor John Hudson was in that second race, that was a golden opportunity missed. He has to make up for it now.
And all of them have a golden opportunity with Barry not being here. They all need to capitalize, and take advantage of that situation. Oh, Mellis said his steering wheel he has an issue apparently, and has no buttons or knobs working on his steering wheel. Well,
that could explain it, why he stopped on the circuit initially in race 2. But as they come out of the final corner to end lap 1, it's Bousson leading, it's Maxwell, Hudson, Bremer, Polman, and Marston go side by side into Allard. That is Marston through ahead of the AMS driver. They're in different classes. Yeah, that's Marston going through. Watch out for what looks like, is that Dave? It's not David Walls, it's Menard de Graaf who's trying to get past Polman. This is important in the race for the AMS as he goes through on Polman. Jamie Bird and what looks like David Walters further behind, trying to make their way through. We're missing Ben Underdown, Damien Gee, and Stefan Millis.
Yeah, that is really, really unfortunate for Underdown. I mean, boy, talk about opportunity missed. Holy cow.
There's a good chance for Gert-Jan Polman to take advantage of this one in the race for the AMS. As we look at Matt Hudson and Maxwell fighting over P2. Can Matt Hudson find his way through at club? He's late on the brakes, is Matt Hudson, and I think Luke Maxwell had given him too much. He's been hit! He's been hit as Luke Maxwell! He's been hit from behind by what looks like Evan Bremer. Disaster again for one of the championship protagonists.
Oh my goodness. It's like I mean, you could almost see it coming there, but come on, man. What a bummer. Let's see how it classified that here. So, yeah, oh, man. I'm going to do something that I typically don't like to do, but I'm going to go back an additional couple of seconds here so we can see this developing. Yeah,
Bremer cut the corner to begin with.
Yeah, and Maxwell had to turn off of McCutcheon a little bit, and the combo was, just really bad. Man, that is so unfortunate. Holy cow. Look at this. He's toured.
And look at this.
Drafting.
Declan Marston on right behind Mahutson is Declan Marston, who's been absolutely brilliant tonight. And Mahutson has got his hands full. Luke Maxwell may be effectively out of this race. Eva Bremer's got back onto the circuit now, coming out of the pits. But this is absolutely playing into Mahutson's hands. What a golden opportunity missed, really, for Luke Maxwell. Well, he just cannot catch a break. His season is going from bad to worse.
It really is.
It's just been happening race after race. It's just been happening race after race after race. He hasn't won since round 2 in Watkins Glen.
Yeah, and it's not even about the fact that he just hasn't won. He's had horrible luck and just bad things happen, you know. Apparently Ewan Bremer's had more trouble, so that's
There is Marston as they head towards
too many
church
battles
again.
going on here right now, though. I'm not going to cut away right now.
This is David Walters and Mena de Graaf coming out of church. Walters on the inside of Mena de Graaf. A chance for Walters to make up for his misfortunes earlier on this evening. Goes through on Mena de Graaf. Watch out for Josh Reed as well. He's a pro, is Reed, so it shouldn't take too long for him to go past. Marston got out of shape. He got out of shape on the pit straight, and that's going to allow Jamie Bird to at least get alongside before they get to Campbell. Marston survives for now as Bird goes to the inside towards Campbell, but Marston holds him off for the time being. But it's not looking good for Declan Marston that time around.
Yeah, I tell you, man, it was quite interesting watching him bump draft McCutcheon down the straightaway there. That was, I say straightaway. This whole track's a straightaway. Yeah, that was interesting. Kind of cool, actually. I liked it.
And watch out for Mahutson. He's on the tail of Bousson now, coming out of Church Corner. He'll be in the slipstream in a moment. And Marston and Bird are doing their best to stay in touch with those two. Now Mahutson just needs to take it very easy. Doesn't need to take too many risks here, given the fact that Barry's absent and Maxwell already been in the wars tonight. This is going to be a really handsome lead in the championship. It was 5 points coming into tonight. From the moment Luke Maxwell put it on pole, it gave him a slight chance of it. But I think he totally threw it all away when he knew that there was one evening for him to close down the arrears in the championship. Tonight was it.
Yeah, I think, but the fact that you're saying McCutcheon doesn't need to take any risk or needs to just take it easy, you know, man, that's just so not that guy's style, you know. I mean, there he is using the entire track there, even kind of slightly getting off. Oh, what?
Marston's got past him. The fact he ran wide on the exit of Seagrave had allowed Marston to get alongside and go through.
Yeah, I'm not going to cut away because he's going to come try to take it right back.
This is a brilliant battle. We're maybe down to 11 runners in this race, but we're still seeing some fantastic racing here at Thruxton. As Mahutson looks to the inside of Marston, heading into Club Corner. Oh, I thought he was going to rip his nose off and go for a spin there, Mahutson, but thankfully he didn't. As they come out of Club.
He had a really weird line going into Club there. And I agree with you. I thought something strange was going to happen.
And it looks like Stefan Millis has joined the race now, albeit he's at least 6 laps down on the leaders.
Well,
but
I mean,
he's going to try and get some points out there.
Any points he can get, right, exactly. When you're second in points, you know, every little point helps. I mean, even though this will probably be a drop race for him, but maybe not. You never know.
They head out of Goodwood, and Bousson is really under threat here from Marston.
Really is.
You can just smell a victory I wonder what James Sparrow would be thinking at this moment in time. I know he may be on his holiday or something like that, but he'll be thinking, well, it's been quite a chaotic round here in Thruxton. There goes Marston to the outside of Boost on the Hutchinson, thinking about it as well. Will they get through? Club corner safety has claimed a number of victims this evening.
Oh,
Marston cuts the curb, but he's gone round as Marston.
Yep.
Yeah, that's him spun.
And here comes McCutcheon.
And the Hudson is thinking about a move on Buson as they go through Ellard.
Yeah. That's, I think he's coming right here. He seems to have backed
Watch out
off
for Bird. He's thinking about his Bird as Mahutson has to back off slightly. I think Bird could well be within range to attack Mahutson this time around as they come out of Seagrave. But what a costly error from Declan Marston.
Yes, big time, big time. Where did he rejoin at? 7th place.
Yep.
Yep, and he's back there quite a bit. Not 8 seconds behind the lead pack, or the leaders here.
He's got time to make up. We've seen the pace from him, so it's a longer race this time compared to the previous two. So he's got some time to catch up. Bird going for it though on Mahutson as they head towards club again. Mahutson making the move to the slipstream of Buson, and Bird goes to the inside. Can he make it stick? He cannot do. Mahutson having to take some of the curve there, which will compromise his speed and exit. He just about holds on.
We have seen some absolute banging racing. Look at this. Oh, he was trying.
That's Menedigoff on the grass.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was with
Hudson and Bird are swapping places, Jim. They're swapping places on Hudson and Bird, and Hudson's still ahead of Bird. Bird just getting a little out of shape. There is David Walters, who's on course for the AM win in 4th position overall. But he's got the luxury of watching how the pro leaders are doing ahead. He may be able to get a podium overall out of this, David Walters, which we never thought would be saying that after his shenanigans this evening. But Bird has just dropped back a little bit now from a Hutchinson.
Well, you're right. I mean, he did get involved in that deal earlier in the other race, but he is like we talked about earlier, though, he popped into the scene and accumulated a ton of points fast. And here he is. This is going to be a nice points finish. And given the way all of the points leaders have been performing here, it's only going to help his cause too.
We're now on lap number 10. We're 10 minutes into this one. And it's so far so good for Mike Bousson. No mistakes from him in race 3. Hopefully we'll get a word from him after. Talk about his performance. But now Hudson is right on the tail of him. Going for win number 9 this season. The Scotsman, who's now the firm favourite to be taking this championship. But what can Bird do further behind?
I mean, he's got to pin his ears back and make some perfect laps. I mean, to catch the which you got to give Mike Bousson some credit. He's up there running hard, although McCutcheon's catching him quick here. In fact, as I say that, here goes McCutcheon by him. Is it going to stick?
Yep, that's Bousson letting Hudson through here. He's not even fighting this one. Yeah, but he didn't really fight it at all, did he, Bousson? He's thinking about what is going to happen afterwards, but he's allowed Hudson to take the line that he needs. And it looked too easy for Bousson. I'm surprised he didn't make Hudson fight for it a little bit more.
Yeah, but if he does that, does he go from 2nd to 4th? It's happened to him already once tonight, so
he needs to stay in touch with him so that he can fight back in the closing laps of this.
I tell you what, Jamie is all over him now, though.
He's very much all over him. He may be able to use the slipstream effect to go ahead. He won't do it here. He'll probably wait until they exit church to do exactly what Hudson did to Bousson on the previous lap and sneak past. But he's got a wheel on the grass, though, as Bird, which won't help too much. But now they're going through church, and this is an opportunity for Bird as Bousson gets out of shape slightly. So this should be easy picking for Bird to head straight on through here. He doesn't want to be holding back. If I was Bird, don't hold back, just go through. Just go through, Bird. On the inside goes Jamie Bird on Mike Bousson. Bousson nearly shutting the door. They almost touch, but Bird robustly makes his way through into 2nd place. I'm so glad he did that and not hold back.
Yeah, that was a nice move. robustly. I like that. That's a good one. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah, he had to do it. Yeah. Well, he had to get his elbows out. He needed to get his elbows out because otherwise, if he stayed behind Boost on that occasion, that would have given Hudson essentially a net victory. But thankfully, that's not the case. We've got a battle for the win now. Marston's back up into 5th place. He's got ahead of Mena de Graaf, and he can go after Josh Reed here.
As Jurt Van Polman is
As
passing
you got Jan Polman fighting out with Mena de Graaf. Michael May further up ahead. It looks like Declan Marston has stopped on the circuit and he's back in the pits.
Yeah, I think that's...
We'll find out what exactly happened.
It's probably not a good situation. Oh! Looks like Jamie got a little out of shape on the curb there.
It's just about keeping Buson behind for now. As we see them head through Allard again. We're now on lap 13. Marston out of the race. Bremer out of the race. Stefan Mills is still going, albeit 6 laps behind. Luke Maxwell also out. Ben Undown and Damien Gee didn't even start. So we're only down to 10 runners if you include Stefan Millis.
Well, I'm looking at chat here. And Paula May said that Jamie Bird is so flamboyant. That's an interesting take on him. That's he is kind of flamboyant in a way, but Jamie's such an all or nothing kind of driver. But he's catching McCutcheon right here.
He's absolutely going for it.
He got a
well,
nice
I'm so
run.
glad he's staying in the fight here with Hudson for a win. I think very good run. He's been super this evening, has Jamie Bird, and now he's got a chance to go for 2 wins in a row if he can help it. Hudson, well, he won't be sitting comfortably now, will he?
No, I mean, unless I don't know if he's just taking it easy or if he's just holding back a little bit and then taking care of his tires, or if Jamie's just putting it on him. But Jamie's absolutely flying. He is always sliding. Paul said he's always sliding around. That's true, which is cool, but it's probably not the best thing for your race car. Certainly not the best thing for those tires. He's kind of slipped back here now.
As they head towards Church again, Hudson and Bird. He's not going to be close enough this time, is Bird, I don't think.
No, it doesn't look like it. He is closing the gap back up, though.
No, he's too far back. Yep. You can see how effective the slipstream is on the approach to Club Corner again, and just needs a good line coming out of here. Hudson took quite a bit of curb, so did Bird. They're pushing ever so hard without spinning the car around, as we've seen a number of drivers do.
McCutcheon flew through curb right there. He picked up 4/10 on Jamie coming out of club. That is huge.
It's a huge amount.
Josh Reed's going to get Walters here.
This is Josh Reed. He should do, because he is a pro driver, whereas Walters is an AM. But Walters is no pushover by any means, so Reed is going to have to really fight for this one to gain the extra point. Remember, it's 25 points for a win, 20 for second, and it's 19, 18, 17. Every position downwards is a point difference. But Reed wants to get by David Walters as soon as he can, so he can go after Mike Bousson for the final podium position. Walters got outside.
Oh my goodness!
That's Reed may be able to survive that one, but that is bad luck there for David Walters for sure. But he was the one that got out of shape, and Reed couldn't avoid him.
Yeah. Golly, man, and Walters was holding on to 4th place there with a phenomenal run. Josh Reed looks like he's jumped back to the pits.
I think he managed to get back to the pits, did Josh Reed, so he may be able to get repairs done and head back out again. But there's still this battle for the lead here between Hudson and Reed. Bird, I say, between first and second. Josh Reed does rejoin the race, is ahead of Nick Marshall in 8th position.
Wow, that's, man, That's unfortunate. And the thing is, David Walters is still in there.
He's hanging in there. He lost so much time, and he's still actually a couple of seconds clear of Michael LeMay. So despite that spin, David Walters is still on course to take the AM victory. Ben
Like
down
his
took the
wheels
other two earlier
pretty
tonight.
straight. I mean, he didn't look
Yeah,
like
it looks
he's
fine
got...
to me, the way the steering. But look further behind. LeMay and Pullman are tussling over
Well, they are.
second place in the AMs.
Yeah, it's a good battle
And
right
you
there.
can just see Mena de Graaf and that's Stefan Mellis behind Mena de Graaf. But remember, Mellis is so many laps behind, so he's not technically in this fight. But this is probably the closest battle we've got now between LeMay, de Graaf, Pullman and de Graaf for what is 5th place overall, 2nd place in class.
Yeah, you know, it's good to see Michael having a nice run. They're hit or miss. They haven't come as often this year as in previous seasons watching him, but it's good to see him up here battling for 2nd place and in class and putting up a good little fight. Well, let's see. I got to go back up here. This is heating up again.
This is for the lead. What's happened to John Hodgson?
Oh my God!
He's lost the lead.
Oh, he went off.
He's lost the lead as John
God.
Hodgson. We didn't see it, but now it's a battle for the lead between Jamie Bird
Oh my
and
God.
Mike Bousson. We're going to see now what happened. Oh, he clipped the curb. He clipped the curb on the entry to, was that Goodwood or was that Church that he clipped? I thought it was Goodwood that he clipped, and that allowed Bird and Bousson to go through.
Wow. All right.
That's changed it. We need to go back to the
one more
battle for
time.
the lead, Jim, because
Okay.
Bird and Bousson. No, we need to go to the lead
Okay,
because Bird
yep.
and Bousson are
Headed
nose
that
to
way.
tail.
Oh, they are. There we go. All right, we'll
Yeah,
go look at
there
that
we go.
later.
Look, Bird and Bousson, nose to tail. Can Bousson snatch it away from Bird here? Hodgson's not out of this by any means, but Bousson's looking at Bird as they head towards Club Corner. Bousson on the inside as they head towards the right chicane. Bousson goes through ahead of Bird, and he's through at last. Can he hold on this time, though? A good drive on the exit, but this battle is far from over. Hodgson getting out of shape again slightly, but what an unbelievable drive we are seeing from Mike Bousson and Jamie Bird. John Hodgson making that costly error again.
Wow. Yeah, that's uncharacteristic for him for sure. He's back there though. He's still got
just over
5 minutes, a little less than 5 minutes. If anybody can make up 2 seconds in 5
still win
minutes,
this.
he certainly can. Yeah. It might be fun watching him put the
Well,
lap times down, especially if these two are fighting like this.
Yeah, well, Bousson looks like he's letting Bird go past here before they get to Church Corner. Bird turns in on him slightly as they come out of there, and Bird goes in front. How they've not come together, I do not know. But there is Bird and Bousson going toe-to-toe again. Bousson on the inside like he was last time. Almost running into Bird as they enter the chicane of Club, and they're having to take different lines slightly as both getting out of shape, which will allow Hodgson to close in again. Over the line they come. I reckon we've got 4 more laps of racing.
McCutcheon just cut over half the gap down in 1 lap. He's almost within a second now.
Incredible stuff. Oh, Bird got out of shape. I think Bousson ran into him at Campbell, and Hudson's right back in the fight here almost. And, well, if these two come together, that's victory going in the way of John Hudson, certainly.
Yeah, it certainly would appear that way. If he gets back up to him, it's going to be tough. They're going to have to really put up a fight to hold him back. Of course, both these guys will. We'll just see. We've seen Bousson let him go earlier in the race, so we'll see what happens here. With 3 minutes to go in the race, I don't see how you let him go.
Well,
He's
there
coming.
is Bird and Bousson. He's coming.
Oh,
Bird
he's
takes the
flying.
inside line.
Look at
Bousson
this.
follows through. But watch out for Hodgson. Yeah, Hodgson right on the tail of these two. This is scintillating stuff. 3 laps to go then for these 3.
He just closed up 0.5 of a second in one corner.
Action-packed stuff here in the final race of the evening here in Thruxton.
Crazy.
Jamie Bird, who won race 2. Buson did not get a very good exit coming out of the left-hander of Cobb. And now he's having to go defensive here with Hutchison right behind. He could just get back into the slipstream of Bird. That could just be the leverage he needs to hold Hutchison back. But, you know, you just cannot take your eyes off it. We've seen so many drivers pull out of the race. Nick Marshall was in the pits for a bit of time, but he's back in the race in 9th. But here, in the fight for the lead, with just over 2 laps left, has Hutchison got enough time to make this work? My instinct says yes, but he's probably going to need a little bit of luck to go his way.
Yeah, indeed. He's, well, yeah, I think he might create his own luck. He's certainly that kind of guy.
Out they come then.
If those two,
have
one more tussle, he's going to be all up in the mix here.
Yeah, 100%. So they need to play this carefully, do Bird and Buson, if they're going to come away with the victory. And out of Cobb and through Seagrave again. David Walters looking comfortable in for the AM victory. De Graaf and Pullman swapping places again. That battle is just as intense, whereas Buson getting out of shape. Very, very nearly losing it through Goodwood.
There goes McCutcheon.
On the inside goes Hutchison as they head towards Church. Again, has he got the inside line for the right-hander? He does so. Hutchison back into 2nd place ahead of Mike Buson. He's got one more lap to go at the end of this to go for his 9th victory of the season. And Bird, well, he's going for 2 in a row.
Whew, he's going to have to really push it here.
Yeah, last lap. Over the line they come. Bird, Hutchison, Buson. Who's going to take the final win of the night? Bird has had a super evening, the best of his season so far. Hutchison has had a splendid season in both the championship and with his racecraft. But after that mistake, can he have one final attack to go for another victory this time around? Or is Bird going to do enough to hold on here as Buson runs wide on the exit of Seagrave?
Yeah, just real quick, Menno de Graaf got by Jert van Pullman for 6th place back there, but I'm not cutting away from this, obviously, so I just figured I'd pass that on to you.
We'll come to that in a moment as we watch the top 3 come through Church for the last time. Bird still leads ahead of Hutchison. Can Hutchison get the drive he needs out of... Well, Bird's going to have to go defensive here because Hutchison will look to the inside. Bird's got to go defensive now. He's got to do it as Bird. Don't give Hutchison the inside line. He just about holds him off as they head towards Cobb Corner, but he's gone in too deep slightly as Bird. On the curb they come, and coming out comes Hutchison, but Bird holds on to win again in Thruxton. 2 in a row for Jamie Bird ahead of John Hutchison. Mike Buson in 3rd place to round off the evening's action for himself. David Walters will take the honours in the AMS with Menno de Graaf in 5th place ahead of Michael LeMay and Gert-Jan Pullman. I think LeMay actually has been in the woods and someone spun round as well. Is that Gert-Jan Pullman who's spun round? I think it is.
Yep.
Drama on the final lap. Suspension damage on...
He's crab walking across the line.
He does it, does Pullman at last.
Oh,
Josh Reed will get over the line in 8th position.
Wow. Oh my goodness. How was that for some racing?
That was interesting stuff. We might be able to see the incident involving those in the AMS there because Pullman did spin into the pit entry.
Yeah, I think, let's see, right here maybe.
Right at the end here, look.
Oh, LeMay. Oh,
so
yeah.
LeMay slides into Pullman.
He's crab walking that car. That's
maybe a few words afterwards, but
yeah, there might
I'm
be
sure that was accidental.
There might be a word or two there for sure. All right, let's see if we've got our results up here. I believe we do.
The final race result of tonight here in Thruxton in the Radical SR8 Championship. Jamie Bird wins for the 2nd time ahead of John Hutchison with Mike Buson rounding out the podium in 3rd place. David Walters 4th Meta de Graaf in 5th, and it's Michael Lemay in 6th place, Gert-Jan Palm in 7th, and Josh Reed, the last of those on the lead lap, in 8th. Nick Marshall got over the line a couple of laps down, Stefan Millis 6 laps down, Declan Marston didn't finish, neither did Ethan Bremer, Luke Maxwell, Damien Gee, or Ben Underdown. Gee and Underdown didn't even start the race. An interesting third race there, and another new race, a new race winner this evening of Jamie Bird, but not just taking 1, but 2.
Yeah, that's quite impressive. That was a lot of fun right there. Well, we've got a second where we're waiting on anybody to pop into the interview room. I see that Declan Marsden is not classified correctly yet. I'm going to see if I can do that while we're waiting on him.
They won't be classified as a finisher, Will Marston, I don't think. But it's been a solid evening's work. If you're Luke Maxwell, you've probably not had a good evening. Considering what happened in race 3 with the incident with Ethan Bremer, he missed out at the start in race 2. And in race 1, looking at where he ended up in that one, let's have a look where he was in race number 1.
In race 1, overall, let's see here.
I'm looking back on the stream at the moment.
Okay, I was just going to pull it up for you. That should be race 1.
Well, Luke Maxwell finished in P7.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ended up in P7 in race 1, did Luke Maxwell. It's been a missed opportunity, I think, for him. I really do.
Very much
I think
so.
with Mahatson having that, having that mare in race 2 at the start, and also making that mistake in race 3, which effectively cost him the victory, I thought Luke Maxwell will be ruining that. I really, really do. Meanwhile, we've got Jamie Bird. We've got Jamie Bird waiting in the interview room, so we may as well bring him now, Jim, if you can.
There we go.
Jamie Bird, what an evening you have had. 2 wins. Was that on the cards this evening for you?
Absolutely not, gentlemen. Thank you. No, that was a whole lot of luck. Some terrible driving turned into reasonable driving, turned into lucky driving. So yeah, yeah, it's been good. Thank you.
Just talk us about your season, because I think this is the first time we spoke to you since since the season started, actually. Where's the form? Because it felt to me like it was almost like instance of plenty, like as the season went on, through Mount Panorama, Watkins Glen, Lebanon, Knockhill, and all that. But what was it that clicked for you tonight?
I was just more consistent, maybe. Although, just having said that, wasn't very good in the first race. I have a reputation for being inconsistent in driving. Some days I'm good, some days I'm absolutely terrible. Words can't describe it. I just managed to hold it together, to be honest, Tom. It wasn't anything more complex than that, to be honest.
Yeah, that intense battle between you, Buson, and John Mahatson towards the end. I without me sounding biased or anything like that, because I do like to see a dark horse win, but I was thinking, don't give the inside line to John Mahatson into Club Corner, because it'll get you. And thankfully, just about cover that inside line to make sure you picked up that second win there. So I was obviously very, very happy for you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's John was quick. Mike was a bit quicker. Even to be honest, Declan was really quick. And I was trying to brake late into the chicane, but that just meant that they were a much better run out. And yeah, to be honest, with the corner, I'll be a bit slower or maybe a bit faster out, but that's probably only because I was always in someone's slipstream for a while. But I've got to say shout out to Declan. Actually, I know I just mentioned his name, but I just checked the replay and I gave him a hip check, I think, during race 2 that I didn't mean to. I didn't even realise. And I've got 210 degrees FOV from triple monitor, so I should be able to notice this huge blue car in my left mirror, but I didn't. So I apologize to Declan there.
No, it was good tonight. It was Declan. It was a new name for me to know about and how quick he was, but it was sensationally quick. So hopefully we'll see more of him in the coming rounds. And talking about the coming rounds, we've got Solder, we've got Road America, we've got Spa, and we've got the historic layout of Monza to come. Are we going to see more of the Jamie Bird of tonight, or are we going to see more of the Jamie Bird of pre-Thruxton?
That depends how many people crash and move out of my way. But I like to start Monza. Had a win there last season. Zolder's good as well. Although if you go back and watch last year's broadcast, I can't remember if you actually commentated it on there, Tom. But there was a huge. I hit the wall on the last chicane and took a couple of people out at the end as well. So yeah, spin the roulette wheel and see what number comes up for Jamie Bird.
Okay. Anyone you want to shout out to, Jamie, before we let you go?
Just all the guys in the league. It's great to have a good league that in the summer months as well that keeps the numbers up because obviously real life and more exciting stuff or different stuff outside gets in the way. So yeah, it's good to see everybody selling the grid. Thanks.
Well, all I will say is very, very well done this evening with 2 wins and a 6th place finish, I think it was, in race 1 for you. But overall, it's been your best evening of the season, and we can't wait to see more of that in the coming rounds, mate.
Thank you. Might be the best win season of the meeting of the season I ever do. So yeah, I'll take it. Thanks, mate.
No problem. Thank you very much, Jamie, and best of luck in the coming rounds.
Thanks.
All right.
Cheers, guys.
We got Mike Busan out here too. Let's bring Mike in. All right,
Mike, sum up your evening's action because it was nail biting towards the end, wasn't it? I mean, we saw you in the lead through a lot of that 3rd race, but it was quite this way, that, and the other. It just kept on changing all the way through. But how did you sort of experience it from your perspective throughout the evening?
It's a evening, chaps. It's a challenging drive to say the least. You're constantly on the edge of grip. And to be fair, I just made too many mistakes. It was generally me whacking curbs that I shouldn't be, and giving myself a lot more work than I needed to, really. But still, very enjoyable. Very enjoyable.
Just looking at the results, it was 3rd in race 1, 10th in race 2, and 3rd in race 3. Jim, you're going to ask a question, weren't you?
I was just going to say, it turned out to be a pretty good points night for you as well, especially with some of the real heavy hitters not having the best night, or in Barry's case, not being here. It's certainly going to give you a nice little boost in the point standings, which is always nice.
Yeah, definitely slowly creeping up the order. It was a very slow starting, but again, I've not managed to achieve 3 decent races. But that, to be fair, race 2 was my own fight. That curb so hard it bent the steering wheel, and so I just had to try and hold on not to lose 10th place, so I didn't start outside the reverse grid. So that was the most challenging, to be fair, is trying to get it round every corner. But yeah, it's a great track. Fun. Was the extra heat in the I think it was 40 plus or something. I can't remember what it is, but it was so what, trying to keep it on the track was a challenge. Who wants to finish with me? We won't talk like that. Thank you very much.
Oh, no, that was that was for me. I was telling Tom he could finish the interview with you. Like I muted my mic.
This is a family show. Family show, boys.
No, I muted my mic from the broadcast, but you're gonna hear it. And I was telling him he could finish the interview, but you called me out on the broadcast.
Okay.
So now
you boys, come on, boys. Don't fight over me. Come on.
That's right.
Don't be like this.
In all seriousness, how have you found this season overall? Because we've done 6 rounds now. We've got 4 to go. The rounds being over in Solder next, then Road America, Spa, and Monza. What's the mentality right now heading into those remaining rounds for you?
Just to try and get 3 good races out of each evening, because it seems to be that it's sort of I get 2 decent ones, and either I get taken out quite often, or I take myself out. It seems tonight. So, but they're all good tracks for me, really. I think so. Shouldn't be too hard to score some decent points. Obviously, Spa might be a little bit more challenging with the draft off that. But yeah, no, I should be able to slowly creep up.
Speaking
Hopefully
of
get
Spa, real
fourth,
quick,
if
have you
not-
run that? Have you run that bike layout yet? That with that alternate turn there. I think it's No Name Corner.
No, I haven't.
Uh,
I haven't got a clue how it changes it.
yeah. I mean,
I haven't even looked.
Oh, you haven't? No, it's just it's a little. I don't know. It's a little
No.
downhill, right there in No Name Corner. I think it's turn 9. It's not dramatically different, but it's definitely different.
Had a different element, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, that's always fun, right?
Meant we drove it. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
But yeah, no, I look forward to it.
looking at the positive gain from this one. I think you're up to 4th now in the championship because Josh Reed didn't score that well this evening, Mike. So I think it's safe to say it's been a fairly decent evening's work.
Who's in
but-
third?
So in 3rd place is currently, I think it'll be James Berry now because he hasn't raced this evening. So even with Luke Maxwell's performances, I think it might be James Berry, but I could be wrong on that. But don't forget, there is the drop points rule to come into the fray
Yeah.
because it's the 8 best rounds for each driver that goes towards the championship.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at that. So, oh well, we will see how that plays out towards the end of the season.
Anyone you want to shout out to, Mike, before we let you go?
Oh, I've been thinking about this because obviously all I can think is something war related. So we'll give a shout out to all the B2 bomber pilots this week. Done a grand job, I'm hearing on the news. I haven't watched it myself to catch up on it yet, but I hear they struck the targets well. So shout out to B2 bombers.
I was waiting to hear. I figured you were going to have some commentary there.
You gotta be careful if you chuck the Iran, Israel, give them any shout outs. You gotta be very careful in these current climates.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so I thought
Let's leave
stick to the
the
American
let's
side.
leave the politics alone on that one.
All right, Mike.
Either way, Busan, Mike. Well done on this evening's performances, and look forward to you again next week.
Yeah, catch you later, guys.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, I knew he was going there for sure. For sure. But I noticed
I had to jump in there just so that it doesn't.
Well, he always does. Everybody knows that with him. I noticed.
Go on, you were going to say.
Garrett Van Polman jumped into the broadcast booth there for a second. He was nice enough to have his mic muted, but then he popped out. I guess he might have jumped in there by mistake. I thought he was coming in to chat it up with us, but maybe not.
Well, we can chat to him another time.
Yeah.
But just one final word from you, Jim. How have you found this evening's action? I mean, Thruxton's a new circuit to you, but how have you found the circuit as well as the racing?
Well, I've broadcast a few races here. I just have never driven here yet, but it was fantastic. I mean, I could show up every week and see racing like this. You know, they were all good battles. We had good racing all over the place. We had some drama. We had some wrecks. We had people wrecking each other. We had everything. So yeah, good stuff.
Well, I think Gert-Jan Polman's actually in the booth now, Jim, so we can
there
get
he
a
is.
quick word with him, actually, because we've not spoken to him this season so far. Gert, nice to speak to you. How have you found this evening as well as the season so far from your perspective?
Thanks. Yeah, it's been a great season. I have to say it was by accident that I clicked that broadcast booth. I don't understand anything of Discord. I feel very old. I couldn't get out, so I closed the internet. But no, it's been a great season. It's great racing these guys.
Well,
It's
you-
safe to say that you've
yeah.
had a better evening than previous. Sorry, Jim.
No,
it
no,
seems
go
like you've
ahead.
had better races this evening before, compared to the previous rounds, Gert. But you are in the championship lead right now in the AMS, despite the fact that it's still rather sort of tight-ish with Stefan Millis. But how have you found the SR8s? Because I'd imagine you've been racing in SR8s for quite a bit. But how do you compare them to, let's say, I don't know, like SR10s or whatever? What's the difference between between the two?
Oh, I absolutely love them. I started racing them in the week 13 I believe it was previous week 13 when they had a Lime Rock Park event using the SR8, and I just love that car. I started looking on the internet to see if there was a league where I could race it. So I just started last season, and I think it's such a great nimble car. I think it's fairly easy to control, but okay, I'm not driving on the limit like the top guys, but it's just very much fun. I'd love to do this for an hour every Monday night.
I mean, considering it's a working day, I think you earn your evenings sort of social, if you like, or leisure, if you want to call it that. But in the coming rounds, we've got Solder, we've got Road America, we've got Spa on the bike layout, and the historic layout of Monza. How are you feeling for those circuits, Gert?
I love those tracks except the historical Monza. That's just some kind of lottery. I remember last season we did it too. I was I think leading lap 1 because of the reverse grid or something, and we got 4 wide into the first right-hander after the oval, and it was just chaos. So it's just hanging on for dear life, I guess. But it's still fun.
From a commentator's
Gert,
point of
do you
view,
have-
it's
do you wanna-
hilarious. Sorry.
Yeah, it's great.
It's all right. I was just gonna say to you, Jim, if you wanted to ask him Gert something,
Well,
maybe
you
about
know,
his
I haven't-
season so far.
No, I mean, I'd love to comment on what he's already said, actually, talking about these SR8s, man. Easily could be the most underrated car on iRacing. There needs to be more leagues racing these cars. They're a free car, so that gives everybody a chance, and they're just so much fun, and they adapt to so many different tracks. You can really race them anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I even when we raced last season at Ritscogan and Knockhill and all those tracks that I don't really know, it was just such a challenge, and they really do well there. Tracks that are not the normal standard tracks like Spa or Monza. It's really nice to drive them on those kind of special.
Well, I'd like to shout out
Oh.
to John or whoever's picking these tracks because, yeah, Knockhill, what a fantastic track that was to pick that, you know, hardly anybody even knows about, right? And then Thruxton and some of the other tracks that's been picked this season. You know, that's, you know, it gets a little old running the same tracks every season. Finding these new little fun tracks like that is a big part of what makes this league really cool, I think, you know, especially since John's taken over and is kind of, you know, breathed some new life into this league.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's true. I love those niche tracks.
So since we got you,
Anyone
here,
want to shout out to?
that's what I was going to do. Go ahead. You got it.
Okay. I know it's just a little bit of a lag or something there, Jim. But I'll ask Gert the question. Anyone you want to shout out to, Gert, before we let you go?
Well, let's say a shout out to Stefan Melis. He's just a real nice guy, gentleman. We are very close, and it's always fun racing him. So it was a pity that he had a problem this evening with the steering wheel. Just
Well, Gert, thank you for taking the time to speak to us. Best of luck for the rest of the campaign, and we may see you come out as the AM winner overall by the time we finish the campaign at Monza.
thanks, and thanks a lot for the broadcast. It's really great to watch it every week.
Thank you very much, Gert, and all the best.
All right.
Jim, it's been brilliant watching the action this evening, and I mean, Thruxton, I think it's here to stay, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, this track definitely has, you know, has a, I don't want to say a niche. That's may be wrong. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, this place is, it's, you know, it's a lot of fun. It seems like I can't wait to come drive something here. and it's definitely here to stay for sure. As should be Knock Hill, since we brought that up earlier. That track needs to be on a lot more schedules.
Yeah. And given the flow of the circuit as well over at Knockhill, it does provide some entertaining action. And maybe even in particular during rainy conditions, because that throws another spanner into the mix.
Right.
Considering it's over in Scotland and it does rain a lot over there, yes, I am calling that John Hodgson. Don't you worry about that. It's brilliant. I think Thruxton has put on a really good show this evening. I don't know what it'd be like in the wet. I don't think I've seen any form of racing around Thruxton in the wet as much, but I do hope the Radical SR8 Championship does race around this track again. Anyway, Jim, it's time to wrap up. Thank you for joining me in the commentary position, and thank you to everyone that's tuned in tonight. Do make sure you like and subscribe to the JB Broadcasting YouTube channel. You can keep up to date with all the action that is being shown on the channel itself. Well, it's been a brilliant evening's action here in Thruxton. Jamie Bird taking 2 victories, John Hodgson taking the race 1 win and extending his championship lead over James Barry, who is absent tonight, and Luke Maxwell, who found himself in the wars again. We'll do it all again in 7 days' time at Solder. I'm Tom Cairns, he's Jim Cunningham, and we'll speak to you again soon when the Radical SR8 Championship returns.